What's up guys, welcome back to Fancy Goldfish Fanatics. Today we're going to be shooting a video all based on live food, so make sure you stay tuned to find out more. Hey Fanatics family, welcome back. If you aren't already part of it, make sure you check out the links in the description, join the Facebook group and check us out on Instagram. Today, as I said, we're going to be doing a video all based on live food. The old tank that I used to have right next to me has been out in the garden, filling up with rainwater, and I just filled up as well with some tap water just to see if I could turn it green and then maybe start my own Daphnia culture. Well, that tank has now been full or semi-full of water for about 2 weeks now, and I can start to see it going green. It's starting to get quite dirty as well, and there's like midge larvae, and some little nymphs and bits and pieces starting to grow in there. I thought it would be good to do a Daphnia culture in that, which brings me on to today's video of live food, and then in a few episodes time we're going to be cleaning it out and actually getting it ready for some Daphnia. So I will do another video on that. I'd say the majority of you feed like a frozen food or rapashi, like a gel food or some pellets, but you can also feed live foods to goldfish. So there are many different types of live foods, and they have positive and some negative impacts that we need to consider when we feed them. Currently I don't feed any live food at all. The only meaty sort of food I feed is frozen bloodworm, which I get in a large pack. Now you can feed bloodworm as a live food, gives the fish a little bit of enrichment, something to sort of chase, even though I know bloodworm aren't going to be like swimming around very much. They've also got quite a high protein level of around 55 to 56%, which is really good for our goldfish and good for growth. They also come in different sizes. You may see in your local shops, you may get some large, quite chunky bloodworms, and they also do really small ones, so it's good for a variety of different sized fish. There are also Tubifex worms, which are normally quite a lot more skinny, and they are a bit smaller in size. They also have really good nutritional benefits, a high protein level of about 50 to 55%, around 8 to 10% in fat, and also they've got a fibre level around 5 to 6%. Obviously that will help pass any pellet food or anything that's stuck in the gut to help push that through, whereas also you can use like peas as well if you're trying to get some more fibre. Now a lot of you may notice mosquito larvae in your filters. They're small like casings that will stick onto the filters, or they'll stick onto the pipework within your tank. Now mosquito larvae, I'd say 99% if not 100% of the time, will only be in outdoor systems. Now they were very common in ponds, and I actually had some growing in that green tank I've got outside, and there were loads and loads of them, and the goldfish absolutely love them. The good thing about mosquito larvae is they have lots of different sizes. Mosquito larvae are good for smaller fish. They really enjoy chasing them in the water, and also that live food obviously does give them a little bit of enrichment and a little bit more of their natural feeding response and how they would naturally feed, because goldfish, I know our fancy goldfish aren't a wild fish, but in the wild, carp and goldfish will sift through the detritus in the bottom, and they will eat insects and plant matter, so it's more of a natural base, and it is good for their digestive system. Now other live foods include brine shrimp and brine shrimp nauplii, which is the first stage once they've hatched, are really good for fry, and that is why the majority of breeders will feed brine shrimp nauplii to their newly hatched goldfish fry. This is because brine shrimp nauplii are an incredibly efficient, protein-rich product, and they can really help to bring your fry on. And the dry weight of these brine shrimp, or the brine shrimp nauplii can have up to 60% protein level, which is really high, especially in a dry food. Some hobbyists say that the brine shrimp nauplii are more nutritionally balanced and more nutritionally rich for your fish compared to the adults. However, and this is true. However, if you enrich the adults yourself with different types of microalgae like Nanochoropsis or Tetrasalmonis, I believe it's called, these can help add different fatty acids to your goldfish's diet, and you can self-enrich these brine shrimp. And finally, bringing me on to the last live food is Daphnia. Now, Daphnia have a protein level of around 45%. They've got quite a high mineral content as well, of around 30%. And then they're around 4% fat, something like that. They've also got quite a few vitamins, like vitamin A, vitamin B1, and also vitamin B2. Daphnia will be eating the suspended microalgae within the water, so you can enrich them with different algae. However, this is probably pretty complicated for freshwater. I know in saltwater you can get different algae cultures. In freshwater, it's probably quite a bit harder to self-enrich those, but they will be eating a natural algae within the water. And then obviously your fish are consuming those Daphnia, so they are therefore consuming the nutritional benefits that have come out of that algae and into the Daphnia, and they're really well absorbed by the fish. Now, when we saw the top view Japanese Ranchu breeder, he actually uses brine shrimp to bring on his fry, and then once his fry are big enough, he then feeds the Daphnia to really bring them on. And I believe those Daphnia really significantly help with growing on those fish and even grooming them. Now, Daphnia won't have a tremendous effect on larger sort of 4 to 6 inch fish. They're not going to really help that growth, but when the fish are young, they are really going to help pack on that growth. And you can feed the Daphnia with other foods such as pellets and gel foods just to provide that balanced diet. So I know I didn't go too into depth on the different live foods you can have, and also I didn't really speak about their culture methods and how you can culture them yourself. And I'm sure I will do videos on each individual live food just a bit more in depth, and also their culture methods. But I thought today was good to show you the different live foods you can feed your goldfish. Obviously, when you are feeding live foods, you need to make sure they've come from somewhere that is free from chemicals or pesticides. For instance, if you are feeding like live worms, I know I didn't speak about that, but live earthworms can also be fed. You need to make sure they haven't come out of any areas with pesticides or any chemicals or fertilizers. You need to know the origin of what you're feeding, and that is why I think the majority of the time it is best to culture your own live foods, so you know exactly what they've consumed, exactly where they've come from to feed to your prized fancy goldfish. Now, these live foods provide lots of enrichment, something a bit different, a bit more natural feeding response, and also they are well digested by your fish, which is why I wanted to bring that information to you today. Now, in the next video, hopefully we're going to go and be seeing John again. Hopefully you saw his monster fish tank, his monster fancy goldfish tank in our tank tours episode. If you haven't seen that, then check out the tank tours playlist and go and watch that. So in the next episode, we're actually going to be visiting his pond. The weather is really nice, so it would be great to see his pond in the natural sunlight. And also for you plant lovers out there, we're going to be doing a quick little video of all of his bonsais and his succulents. He has got so many plants in his garden, so I thought that would be fun to show you those as well. So if you're looking forward to that video and you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.